Hey, friends. Welcome to the very first episode of Beyond Brave. So I'm Kyla, and sitting here with me is my husband, Lyle. We've talked about doing this for a while now, and honestly, it feels a little surreal to finally hit record. In this episode, we're starting right at the heart of it all, our daughter, Bella. We'll share her eulogy, some beautiful memories, and why this podcast feels like the next step in carrying on her legacy. You'll hear about how Beyond Brave came to be, why starting this was harder than we thought, and what we hope to create here: stories, connection, and maybe a little healing for all of us. There are moments where we open up in ways we haven't before, so stick around. As much as you think you know about Bella's story, there is so much more to share. Let's get started. Welcome to Beyond Brave. I'm Kyla, and here's where we dive into stories of hope, bravery, and laughter. Millions followed our journey with my daughter, Bella, but now it's time to go beyond the headlines and highlight reels to those raw, real moments I haven't shared anywhere else. So are you ready to go beyond brave? Let's dive in.
But if you want it to be perfect, you can make it perfect.
I think our whole first episode here is going to be telling you all about what we plan to talk about in every other episode. I have so many flippin' ideas. It's ridiculous, but
we're going to have a meeting about, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because the whole purpose of our podcast is our Bella Brave Legacy Project. And that is honoring our late daughter, Isabella Thompson, and what she has done in terms of showing this world what brave means. And I feel like a podcast is a way of sharing our story in a way that no other platform can handle. TikTok cannot handle it. Instagram cannot handle it. The only way is a podcast way. And I'm just really excited for that.
About sharing stories of sitting on cats and other
yes, that's the thing.
revelations.
I want to mix in all of our life stories.
Well, you got to think about, sometimes it's nice to put in the perspective of what Bella would want.
Yes.
And she would want a story of me sitting on a cat.
100% humor. Yeah. Sitting on a cat. 100%. Mom, tell the story. Oh, okay. So you know the lists we started? Lala and I both started lists on our phone after Bella had passed. Anytime a memory with her popped in our head, we would start writing it down in our notes section. And we're looking, it's a beautiful way to basically journal about anything we definitely don't want to forget, or anytime it pops in your head and you just want to remember it and review it and go over it later on. And all these little tidbits and notes. Mine are usually about a paragraph to 2 paragraph memories. But definitely she would want, Dad, do you remember the time you pinched your finger in the garbage can?
Every time we drive by,
every time.
Not the garbage can.
No, it was like a dumpster.
Yeah.
You almost lost a finger.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Squashed my finger.
Yeah.
Bella and I were driving into town. We live on an acreage outside town.
Yeah.
And I put the garbage in a dumpster. And the dumpster, the
lid.
Gears, not even the lid.
Was
but
it the gears in the corner?
Yeah, the hinge. The hinge sucked my hand in.
Yeah.
And I was able to lift it off with my other hand, but it was all messed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what did I do? I got in the truck. Isabella, I messed my hand up. We got to go.
You're I almost lost my hand.
No, I didn't.
That's the way she remembers it.
Yeah, I know, but I did not tell my 6-7-year-old daughter I almost lost my hand. But I ripped home and I drove her home, back home.
Then you had to go.
Dropped her off and then drove myself to the hospital. Luckily, you were at home, so you could watch her.
Yeah, because you didn't want to take her to the ER with your.
No, she did not need to sit in the ER with me. Was it spurting blood?
Did she see it?
No, I didn't hit an artery. I hit a finger.
Why did you need to go to the ER then?
Well, I needed stitches so you could see meat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to see it.
I'm looking. I heal so nicely. There's no scar. It's somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, every time I drive by it, we drove by the dumpster. Bella would say, "Hey, Dad, you remember when you did that?" And she loved because It annoyed me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't remind me of that. Yeah. Or the time when you like almost like, that was really scary. That scared me. I don't know if Bella remembers that or not, but you like we had to haul our water.
I don't think we can get into the water hauling trials and tribulations.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. See, okay, so back to what
People
I was
probably
saying.
don't understand. We used to live when we still have on our acreage, but before we drilled a well, we had a cistern, and the cistern is basically what you put your drinking water in and your household water.
Yeah,
you just take it from a big tap in town, into a
pipe,
and you put in your cistern, your big tank in your house. Yeah. Well, I wasn't very good at hauling water.
Oh my gosh, there's like the water truck fire story.
Oh my gosh.
There's the truck and trailer sliding down the hill backwards story.
We got to refine our story. Like, what's good?
Probably shouldn't tell the truck on fire story because I think like that would have sent you to jail.
Whatever. So I had to get the tow truck there that night to get it out of there.
Paid him under the table to get our evidence removed.
Forget you saw this tonight.
Everyone needs to know this now. The listener, they're going to be so peeved if we don't just tell the story now.
No. That's the cliffhanger.
Oh,
tune in. For episode 3.
Tune in for we're only on episode 1. This is episode 1. I'm telling Denny to use this content. They're gonna love it. But we're kind of all over the place because we hopped on and we have full intentions of recording our first episode, but we have so many stories to tell. I have my notepad and pen here because I'm like, okay, don't forget. If you tell your viewers and your listeners what you're going to talk about in the future, you can't forget to talk about those stories.
I'm not even much of a storyteller. I'm more of a, I'll just riff on yours, I guess.
I know, but like we could riff for hours and like.
Yeah, that's not what we want to do.
No. We want to stick to kind of like one focus per episode with a little bit of riffs here and there and trail up. But we just have so many stories. See, this is why it's so hard to start. This is like when you're like in high school and you have to write an essay. I was always the kid that it was like maximum was the problem. Like when a teacher would say like what a minimum 1 to 10 pages, I was the kid that was like struggling to get my 20 pages essay to 10.
That's great. That's perfect. That's what we need. That's Denny, the producer's problem. He can cut. You can spend all day cutting.
Yeah.
You.
But it's like I'm trying to fit all 20 topics, all those 20 pages.
I was definitely bump the line spacing up to like 1.1 and put like the space between words, bump that up a little bit. I'm like, I'll get to 2,500 words one way or another. Or no.
You're secretly a hacker.
No, it wasn't pages. It was amount of pages, not words back in the day. So you could just like extend the spacing.
Yeah. No chat GPT. These hooligans get these days.
Well, yeah, because you stay away from that.
Don't give my secrets away in episode 1.
This is all just AI generated.
It's not.
We actually don't even exist.
I'm real. Anybody?
Prove it.
I can't do like a freaking satanic ritual and cut my hand open or something and bleed on TV. That would
be good proof, though. You're right. I was wondering where you can go with that. I was like, how are you going to prove it? And that's where you went.
That's where I went. How else would you prove it?
But AI could generate that.
They can make dinosaurs.
But it would be really aggressive and unexpected, which is like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Must be real.
Yeah.
Huh?
No one can.
Must be real.
No computer could predict that. What, did she just cut herself?
Oh my gosh. Censored. Fail. Deleted. What do they call it? Canceled culture. We could get into cancel culture.
Canceled. I like that.
Yeah, we can't have Mike on for a guest. We'd get canceled.
You don't listen to some of the podcasts I listen to. There's nowhere.
Anything goes. That blows my mind.
You would get canceled with your audience.
Right. If I said anything offside, they would be they wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
Oh, I doubt that.
No.
It's just, I don't know.
Mine are anything I've said. Like, I really want to have like that whole episode. Like, I wrote it down. I was like, I want to have a whole episode where Lala makes fun of things I've said that were just like, I don't want to say blonde moments, but it's like.
No, you said it today.
What did I say today?
You said it was Survivor season. Kyla said,
Okay.
if we were watching TV and
yeah,
it
tell
was
the story.
Survivor season 46. It was like,
47,
I don't know why
46.
we weren't even paying attention, but that
I was like,
wow,
my mind blown.
that is a lot.
Yeah.
46.
Yeah. I'm
And Kyla,
41 for context.
And Kyla said,
I'm 41.
wow, that is crazy. That means Survivor came out when I was 5.
I know I said when I was 6.
When I was 6,
So
I'm
I'm
like,
41.
I understand. I kind of got your logic.
My
You
math got
assume that
mixed up.
Survivor comes out once a year.
Yes. I assumed it came out once a year,
Like,
and
I have no problem with your logic. I have a problem with your math.
my math. I should have said, just like you hate my when I round.
It would have been,
My
I
rounding's
think, when you
horrible.
were like 5 years before you were born, using that logic of Survivor one a year.
Yes.
It would have been before you were, which would have been like 1971. I don't know.
I was
somewhere.
born in
No.
83.
I
Point
was
of the
joking.
story. There's more than one season of Survivor in a year.
You know, there's got to be like 2 or 3 in a year.
Yeah. I never watch it. Sorry, Survivor. I've
But
seen it like
Jeff,
once.
It looks fantastic still.
Mhm.
Come on in, guys.
I should have him on.
That's the only impersonation I do in my life is Jeff from Survivor. Come on in.
Is that what he does?
That's all he does. Every episode.
I could have him.
And the
Talk. We
Ku
should have him
Klux
on here.
Klan has voted you out. I don't know what he says.
Oh my gosh.
but
Did you just reference the KKK?
Ku Klux. Is that what they
Canceled.
say? Clan or no? Tribe.
No, they don't say the Ku Klux Klan.
No, I didn't say that
You
either.
did. Canceled.
Anyways,
Episode 1.5 brought to you by.
that's the only impression I do is Jeff.
That's really good.
Come on, you guys.
I was
only
gonna
learned-
say with how fabulous he looks, we should have him on just to talk about his skincare.
Me? Oh, Jeff.
No, what? Your skincare is pretty easy. You just borrow all of mine.
Like what?
I don't know. I see you stealing my stuff once in a while.
Like what?
Like my Johnson and Johnson body cream all over your face. It's not even Johnson Johnson. I don't know why I said that. What cream do we have under the sink? The body cream.
Lubriderm? I don't know.
Yes.
Aloe?
Nivea.
Whatever.
Coconut Nivea you rub all over your face. It's for my legs.
That's it?
Yes.
You told me I said my face was dry one day and you gave me that.
I did not.
And that's what I've used ever since. Yes. In the little white
The
bottle.
Lubriderm in your drawer, yes.
That's what I use.
I'm talking about like the 2 liters of like Nivea coconut shea butter under. Or something.
No. I use
Oh.
that little white one. What is it called?
It's yeah.
Lubriderm?
Yeah, it's like white with like the blue writing.
Is it face cream?
It's body cream.
So you did give me body cream on my face. Is there a difference?
I don't, for men's skin, I don't really know.
What difference is there? Seriously, I've heard that and I don't buy it. Men and
Women, well, like in a lot of women's skincare, it's like retinol or peptides or hyaluronic acid. And it's all just like to combat wrinkles for us, like mid-aged women.
Why do you need
don't,
that? And I
you
don't.
I don't need to put that all over my body. I don't have wrinkles in the
No, I
middle
get
of my
that.
thigh.
That makes sense. But why do? Is it made for women?
No.
Hmm.
Good point.
What difference is there between your skin and my skin? I guess
You have
the only
whiskers.
difference is the goals, right?
And you have different hormones than I do. Like women, like that's like right now with like perimenopause, like the crap that I'm going through with my insides, let alone my outsides.
What's this perimenopause? You've never mentioned that. to me
Oh
before in
my
life.
gosh.
I've never heard about that.
You're such a brat. It just sucks because men don't have to deal with the hormones we have. So they don't put any research into it. So then they really don't care about our symptoms because they're just like, get over it. We don't deal with it.
That's not me.
When I talk about my bloating, here we go again. Or when you're like, I'm married menopause. I
No,
never heard
every
about that.
time you talk about these things, I ask, I've never heard you talk about that before. Why didn't you mention it sooner?
You're being sarcastic. Stop being so nice and show them how you really are. It's going to be a constant theme. We are totally off topic. We haven't even told these people who we are and what we're about.
Okay, well, considering no one's just going to randomly put in Spotify Beyond Brave. Like, they're going to know who you are.
That's the thing, though. Like, when I start like promoting it on my TikTok, it'll feed it out to people that have no idea who I am. And they might be like, oh, I want to check this out. And then they might start scrolling and then they only get like that's the crappy thing about
the vast majority. But yeah, like episode 1 is.
Well, here's what I have an issue with TikTok and Instagram, I guess, and Facebook too. But the way that the platform is shown to people when you're new to a page, you don't get a quick summary of that person's life, who they are, what they're about. And you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And it's like, where do you stop scrolling? Where do you start? Where, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to ask people to scroll back to 2014 when I started my Facebook page to get the whole story, right? Like,
but you have a pinned thing. You have like on YouTube, you have Bella's pinned story.
That's true, but that's so minimal. Like, especially on TikTok, like well,
you're asking too much. Like, yeah, it's minimal, but like
it's like. And TikTok will sometimes take.
You can't expect anyone to know everything in the past like 10 years. And I wouldn't like.
No, but the nice thing about podcasts is you can start at square one and you can be like, okay, like when I promote it on TikTok, you'd be like, this is episode 1. This is what we're about. Or this episode is about Bella's start to life. This episode is about our whole family. This episode is about hospital year 1. TikTok, you can't do that. Like it'll shoot out videos that Bella and I made like 2 years ago to new viewers. And they'll come to my page and then they'll be so confused because they're like, wait a minute, she's not like, what? Like, so I have pinned her post that gives a snippet of her life story and like her, like, you know. I
see what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess I'm assuming too much.
Yeah, no, it's just like, that's what's always, I've had a hard time because we've always had something going on and on and on. It's like, you really had to have followed us from like 2013 to really know our whole story from day one with Bella.
I don't think like, no, it's good to know. I think if you're tuning into like, if you want to listen to this podcast, like, you have an understanding of that. You can have a quick understanding of that, but like, they don't want to hear about July 7th, 2014. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like they want, okay, I understand what brought you to this point.
But how do you summarize 10 years?
No, but you don't have to. I think they understand what brought you to this point, right?
Most do.
Yeah. And maybe not.
Yeah.
The podcast has to stand on its own.
It does. I also.
Like, it has to be interesting enough not to just hang on those stories, but also how do we, 1, carry on our legacy and 2, make it interesting to listen to.
Exactly. Because then the one thing I worry about is, and I don't want to retell all these stories and bore everyone that already knows our story.
Yes.
But what I do want listeners to know is, like, as much as you think you know just from TikTok and Instagram, you don't know.
Oh, that's salacious. That's like you're watching some cheesy Desperate Housewives. You think you know the whole story.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah. So, but I mean it. I mean that. Like, there is things like number one. Okay, well, number one is the whole thing about Bella being a child and me being an adult and her going through this hospital life with rare disease. We wanted to inspire kids like her. We didn't want to scare them, right? So I'm not going to go on my Instagram and share the nitty gritty of like my PTSD or my trauma or the things that were so hard and describe that. I'm not going to go do that on our Instagram. I'm going to share it in an appropriate way through like a couple paragraphs that I get. Like, you only get like 3 to 4 paragraphs on an Instagram post. I'm going to share it in an appropriate way, a helpful way, not a scary way, because I know there's other kids that are following Bella for inspiration and joy and overall, like, okay, she can get through it. I can get through this. You know what I mean? So it's not like I could ever share the true reality and like in sense of like the hardships. And also didn't have the energy or the time, right? Like,
who does?
Right. So a podcast we can dive deeper into those things. I can really share like, I'm not going to have like, I don't think I'm going to have like 10 and 12-year-olds listening to my podcast. Really. I'm going to have the moms, the dads, the caregivers, the adults.
Yeah. It's a totally different audience now.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, starting this Bella Brave Legacy project is for you, sweetheart. It's for you, Bella. I love you, and this is for you. How we want our first episode to start is kind of like how our story began, and who Bella is our daughter. And we were going to start with her eulogy, which is what I wrote for her, and then kind of go from there. Right? That was our plan.
Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah. Then do we need to press pause or not?
I don't know.
I don't really need to.
A letter to my Bella. My dearest Bella, honey, as I read this, my heart feels both heavy and full. Heavy because I miss you more than words can express, and full because your life, though brief, was filled with so much light and love. Though she be but little, she is fierce. From the moment you were born, you were my beacon of hope and bravery, and soon became that for millions of others as you shone your light through the massive medical struggles you faced. You took on each day with a strength that was nothing short of miraculous and showed doctors across the world miracles still happen. You were not just my daughter, you were an inspiration to countless children fighting big battles just like you. Your courage gave them hope and reminded them that no matter how small, they are never too tiny to fight big battles. Your ability to calm and comfort was a gift you embodied. Dad and I have a fond memory of when you were asked to host Telemirco. Prior to hosting, you were invited to judge auditions. One performer was a 40-year-old gentleman who got nervous before his performance, and you interjected after one of his false starts to tell him, never be scared to sing, just be brave. It was exactly what he needed to hear. You were fiercely active from the first kick in my ribs all the way through the many sports you enjoyed throughout your childhood: dance, soccer, cheer, gymnastics, swimming, ziplining, and more. There was nothing you wouldn't try at least once. You had no fear, ever. From gladly accepting dares to eat silly lunch food combinations with your classmates, to gracefully teaching millions how to face fear with a smile. The way you taught us to be brave is unmatched and forever keeps me in awe of your strength and your love. Your confidence was something else. What's most remarkable is that you never once complained about your size. Though you were born with dwarfism, you had the confidence of a giant. You loved being unique and saw it as a superpower. One day while walking through the mall in Saskatoon, a toddler pointed at you and said, "Baby." Completely unfazed, you continued on unbothered, recognizing that the toddler was just innocently confused. But your brother, maybe only a year older than that young child, did not. Waylon got very upset and loudly proclaimed, "Bella is not a baby." You proudly fawned over your protective, supportive brother. It was sweet and endearing to see how much it meant to you for him to stick up for you. With faith the size of a mustard seed, you will move mountains. You had a special connection with God that was evident in everything you did. Your faith was unwavering, and through that faith, you found so much joy. Despite facing astronomical medical challenges, your faith never wavered, not even the slightest. Any mountain you faced, you told it to move, and it moved, even if your approach was as effortless as a nonchalant meh. Like your response to having a bowel transplant. Mountains were easy for you to move, and this strength you embodied has inspired millions. What was daunting for others was simply a bump in the road for you. There was nothing you couldn't get through without your stuffy animal by your side. Larry the lynx, Charlotte the kitty, and Rosie your bunny were the sweetest of sidekicks through your many surgeries and hospital stays. Yet they also always managed to be involved on the silliest of adventures too, like slides at the park, air ambulance rides, walking mummy to and from the Ronald McDonald House laundry room. Small but mighty, you held the strength of a giant over rare disease and conditions that made you small. I remember your independence as your strongest quality. It was important to you. You hated to ask for help, even when you so obviously needed it. I remember moments when I saw you struggle, but my medical mama heart could not stand to see you struggle, even for a moment, especially on the days that we were not in hospital. But whenever I offered to help, you often snapped back with a hint of frustration in your voice. I can do it myself. Though I think it may have mostly been me who saw this side of you, I feel like you often enjoyed being catered to by others and loved displaying your queen bee princess persona. I see this now, especially since my mama heart melted so often when you would sit me down. If you saw me stressed or sad and you'd say, Mom, everything's gonna be okay. Just take 3 deep breaths with me. Mom, I think you need a break. Don't worry. And just take a break. You'd often tell me out of the blue that you not only love me, but you appreciate how much I do for you. You're a diamond, dear. You cannot be broken. Sweetheart, you had a remarkable gift for understanding people's feelings. It was as if you could see into their hearts and heal them with just a smile. Your crystal blue eyes, or as you like to call them, ice blue, could melt the strongest of souls, and your loving stare opened up hearts that had long been closed. And your giggle, it was the most precious, energizing sound in the world. And I remember the last couple times I heard your belly laugh. We were walking with your unit nurse to X-ray in the giant sick kids hospital that we knew like the back of our hands. But your nurse did not. I joked about inventing a new code for that lost nurse, and we called it Code Purple. As I pretended to call a Code Purple for the lost nurse over the intercom, your Bella belly laugh filled the halls of that hospital. Your love of humor was my favorite. Pranks were your favorite. You wished every day was April Fool's Day and often would start planning your next April Fool's Day pranks on April 2nd. Your love of googly eye pranks began when I first stuck them all around the hospital because that pesky IV pole wouldn't let you easily go outside. What started as a fun treasure hunt turned into your favorite prank. Every hospital stay, we would leave googly eyes in hopes of bringing a little chuckle to all the kids living in hospital like you did. Sweetheart, you were a force to be reckoned with. You were not only a philanthropist, but an ambassador for not just one, but 2 Canadian children's hospitals. You gave selflessly as an educator who taught through example. And wise beyond your years, you touched more lives in your time here than many adults do in a lifetime. Honey, I promise you, as I move forward, I will carry you with me in everything I do. Your legacy, your bravery, and joy will continue to inspire me and everyone who knew you. My beautiful Bella, you are missed beyond measure, but your spirit lives on in our hearts and in the lives of those you've touched. Until we meet again, my sweet girl, I'll hold you in my heart forever with love, with all my love. Mom.
Kleenex down here for you. Sorry, baby.
That's okay.
I
haven't listened to that since
July. Me neither.
I remember it, so it was hard to listen to. Just like pictures are fine.
Yeah. I remember I wrote that as a letter to her, and I remember the number one question that people would ask me, or not question, the number one thing people would say to me, they still do, was that they do not know how I kept it together.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I was thinking that while I was watching it. I couldn't keep it together listening to it.
Yeah.
4 months later.
And I think what I said at the beginning before we started was like, I need you to take over if I can't finish it.
I knew you would.
Like I never went into it thinking I'm not gonna be able to finish this. I wanted to, like, just in case, like, I don't know. I never know how like my body and mind's going to react with trauma. But when I started to speak,
I was like, okay, like this is a letter from me to her. I'm not going to not tell her. I'm just going to like I know she's there listening. I'm going to tell her everything I need her to hear. And there was no way I was not going to finish what I needed to say to her in that moment through my eulogy letter. And I guess that's the only really explanation I have is through saying that. And
just the will.
Yeah. And also, yeah. And like also her friends were there, right? Like her school friends, classmates.
Right.
And I wanted them to know like some stories or some things about her that they may not have known. And I wanted them to hold that in their hearts too.
Yeah, she's it's nice to, I think a lot of it was like showing that she was very active participant in all of that.
Yeah.
All the hospital stuff. It was.
Yeah. I was writing down.
She was not passively being worked on and tended to. She was every bit involved with every decision.
Yeah. And when I talked to her about things like, 10 years of living this medical life with her rare disease that she battled and going through a bone marrow transplant and a bowel transplant and many, many medical stays and surgeries. What kept her going was knowing that she was inspiring other little kids like her or older kids too. And that meant a lot to her. And so when I would tell her like why we share online, we want to help other kids like her and other families like ours. And she really understood what it meant to be an advocate through that. And so she understood what a charity was. She understood what the Ronald McDonald House was. She understood what supporting the hospital meant to the hospital that cared for her, or hospitals, plural.
Right.
She knew all that. And like, she wanted to do fundraisers. She wanted to give gifts. She had such a giving heart. And so like, she
loved all the events that came along with it.
Oh yes. Like the parties. It was, you know what I mean? Like the radiothons, like that was a party. Or like her philanthropist award that she received. And
she deserved it.
Oh, and then her recent award that she received. Her not governor general. Oh gosh, my brain.
I can't remember right now the name of it. It's okay though.
Anyways, she took everything, fundraising and advocacy, very seriously.
The King's Medal, King's Coronation Medal.
King's Coronation Medal.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I wrote down on here, like just taking some notes that I wanted to discuss with after that was like to catch people up, who our daughter Bella was. And she, in short, she was born with 3 rare diseases, dwarfism, an immune disorder called severe combined immune deficiency, and Hirschsprung's, which is a bowel disease. And that's what led to her needing a bowel transplant. The skid was what led to her needing a bone marrow transplant. And
I think
that's the basis.
We listened to her eulogy.
People understand she had a long medical road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard to listen to. It was always nice. Like, I got emotional listening. I get emotional listening to that. You think, why do you listen to it then? Well, and I would think the same thing, but you cry, you kind of break down, but it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're honoring her.
Yeah.
I hate it when I have a day that passes where that might not happen.
You feel like you haven't honored her enough. Yeah. Physically, like mentally, physically, you haven't done something, even physically done something, like go to her gravesite or go into her bedroom or
just, go into her bedroom
for me,
and spend time with her or in your head with her.
Yeah.
Or, I can look at, like I said earlier, I can look at photos.
Yeah.
I still can't get to videos. You think
I've had a hard time with that too.
And videos are okay, but when I have to, that she's doing TikTok dance, that's still fine. That's fine. I can watch that, but I cannot. I can't listen to her. I have a very difficult time listening to her speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just very overwhelming.
Yeah. We're very fresh. If you're new,
no one's new. It's okay.
Well, I just mean,
or you don't have to explain. You don't have to get into those details. Like
Yeah.
What do you want?
I was just gonna say, like, no. I was just gonna say she just passed away in July 14th. So we're newly, like, we're grieving parents. Only so many, just for a few months now, and
but it's nice doing this because I was excited too.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying, these days where they might come and go, and you don't have put that time into to feeling that way. And I knew doing this would be an opportunity to really feel that way.
Well, and I said at the start,
to sit in it.
Yeah. I said, I start this podcast with saying, like, this is for you, sweetheart. Mommy and daddy want to do this for you. We want to help more kids and parents, like ours, like us. And I'm going to cry all over the microphone. But one thing I wanted to mention on here, which I know will help a lot of parents, is it sucks, but living this life with her has led me to a lot of other moms I know really well. So friends who have lost their kids.
Right.
And what we're learning through counseling right now, like grief counseling, I learned a very important lesson, or like why intentionally grieving is a need right now for me, is something I need to focus on, because I know my body physically and mentally is very scarred to trauma. And I find it very hard. I feel like it's going to be too painful to really face that sadness. And so, not that I've been bottling a lot of it up, but it's like, to intentionally grieve, I find very, very painful. Physically, mentally, emotionally. It's just pain. It's painful, like hard.
Right. To live in it.
It's hard to describe, but it's just, it's like, this is a terrible example, but it's like, if you were like 5 and avoiding the dentist, you're like, oh, I know this is going to hurt. I know this is going to hurt. And you do everything in your power to just avoid it. That's what I've been doing a lot of the time.
5. I'm 38 and I do that.
We really needed to bring Kleenex. Oh my gosh.
I understand what you're saying.
But,
and I know you don't take that time. That's because I know it derails you to difficult.
Yeah.
I'd say it doesn't derail my day as much as, and you're kind of a spearheaded person. Like you want to get these things accomplished in a day. And you're very aware that if you go into Bella's room and you start grabbing some things,
going through photos,
it's not a quick trip.
No.
You'll probably derail your day, and you absolutely need to allow yourself to do that. You cannot be avoiding that or watching the video. I mean, I've avoided watching the videos. That's the next step for me. But it's something that has to happen, because you walk away feeling good. I shouldn't say you walk away feeling good.
No, but it's I need to intentionally grieve, or it's going to be worse for me physically, mentally, emotionally in the long run. Like I need to intentionally grieve more, and I know how to do that now, and I know how to make sure I do that now. And it's something.
Do you know how to do that? I guess just, like you said, intentionally,
like make the time, know that, okay, I'm going to be here for a couple hours, however long it takes me to cry in this room. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to avoid it.
Maybe just do it on a podcast.
I am. This is
intentionally grieving.
Okay.
Intentionally, I put you in a small room and I'd say, talk about Bella.
Intentionally grieve. But like, honestly, this something that's like attached to this is like, we've had a very public life, right? Like, we've been advocating for medical families. We have a whole online family that we've aimed to share joy and our story and inspiration and support. And like, I don't know anyone else that, I shouldn't say I don't know anyone else, but it's like, I feel I don't know all these people. I don't know these millions of followers on TikTok. I don't know them personally, but we've had so much support
from so many people online that I feel in my heart like they're grieving too. And
absolutely,
I don't want to deny them that chance to intentionally grieve either by just like shutting down and shutting off and disconnecting and not giving them anything.
No,
you know what I mean? Like there's no way I can do that. And so like it's
they deserve
hard.
Something.
Yes.
Certainly.
And I've always felt that way.
I know people will tell you, no, you have to take care of yourself. You absolutely do.
I do. Yeah. And I am. And I'm learning and I'm getting counseling and
we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But I am not leaving
I think
everyone online
win-win.
in the dust. Like
I think you can get a lot out of doing that for yourself. I think you are right now.
Yeah.
You are intentionally grieving and you're also, fulfilling that
need for everyone out there on the online community.
Sure.
That matters. It's not all doom and gloom and trolls and mean people. There's people out there, and I don't know them from a hole in the wall, but they matter. They still matter.
Sure.
Like Bella's story matters to them, and so that matters to me. And I'm crying all over the microphone again.
It's okay.
I don't like that. Okay. I love you guys. Okay. Other notes that I took
from what?
My eulogy that I wanted to mention.
To talk to me. Yeah.
So I remembered that her dwarfism, the story behind, like, her dwarfism has a big connection to how our TikTok story.
Sure.
Which I think possibly needs to be like a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But Bella had dwarfism. And so like that little bit in there where I talked about that toddler who thought she was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the background behind our online story is people seeing this young girl.
Oh, it's curiosity. How is this 2-year-old doing these things?
In reality, she's 7.
Whenever it was.
Yeah. That was a lot of it. And then I know people would be drawn in and then not only realize, oh, she's 7 and she's talking about like living in hospital with her mom and everything she's been through, yet she's smiling and going to school and having fun. And it's like, and then the spark happens and it's like, oh, she's going what I'm going through. She has an ostomy. I have an ostomy. She's in hospital. I'm in hospital. And then we started to get letters and notes from families, like moms and dads would message me, aunties and uncles and cousins. This is how Bella helped my child. This is how Bella helped my niece. And
it was her bravery that people really responded to. Yeah. Being her.
These little things would draw them in. And then they were like, wait a minute, this kid's got a story. And it's a strong, brave story. And that is,
I think people are drawn. It was, you're obviously curious about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then that would be one thing. But it wouldn't be enough to sustain someone's interest. But Bella, her bravery, her personality was really why there's, why people continue to follow her is because of who she was and how much she showed how literally brave she was to be going through these things. And it always blew me away how she just didn't complain.
And she would keep reminding them of that.
She was not grog. She was happy with who she was. Yeah. And she lived such a full life in those 10 years because she was so convinced and so dead set on just enjoying every day.
Yeah.
She was not, the person to sit back and
everything
be mopey about it.
Everything that you thought would bother her did not.
And I don't understand it.
Yeah. And like all the people questioning and wondering, okay, well, how come she didn't care about not having any hair? How come she didn't care about having dwarfism? How come she didn't care about having an ostomy and a central line on her arm and a G-tube button and all these things? And I, sometimes that would get to my head, not into her head. And I would do check-ins with her and make sure I was taking care of her mental health and saying, hey, honey, like if you want to talk to mommy about any of these things, she'd be like, look at me like I have 3 heads.
Yeah.
What? Like,
And I would always check in because it's like these other people that would assume, oh, she's got to be depressed if she like looks like that.
Reasonably so. Like you would expect someone in the
and the trauma you would expect from a child living in hospital, being pulled away from their friends, never being able to have a sleepover and not being able to eat all the foods they want. And like she had a bowel disease. There was months where she wasn't even allowed to eat a solid food.
The Wigs were always, like you said, she was gifted wigs. Those are a perfect example of
very good example. Yeah.
Who she was.
Yeah. She got gifted wigs and
which were, like, that was great. She thought they were fun.
Oh, she loved them. But she wouldn't ever want to feel the need to wear them every day.
They were real wigs. Yeah. And they were as much a part of a costume as putting on an Elsa dress to her.
Yeah.
She
loved her blonde hair, whether it was sparse, thin, thick at sometimes.
When she complained about the wigs, she's like, they're uncomfortable.
They're itchy. Like she loved when I put them on her, but she wouldn't wear them long. Like she really liked wearing them, but it would just be like an accessory for a little while kind of thing. And she'd take it off. Same with earrings. She like your clip-on earrings and she'd be like, they started to hurt my ears. She'd just take them off or whatever. But I remember she wrote, I think this was grade 4. They were learning, I think grade 4, grade 3, they were learning about like their features and asked to make like a poem about their favorite feature of themselves. And they were like, they got to take a picture and then write a little paragraph or whatever. And she wrote about her hair and a little picture of her little hair on the back of her head. And she wrote, I remember one sentence was like, she loves how it feels when her hair blows in the wind. Mm-hmm. And like whenever we go outside, she's like, Mom, she loved the breeze because she could feel the breeze blow her hair. And she loved that feeling. Even with like the small amount of hair she had, she loved that feeling. It was meant so much to her. Yeah. 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 So and then that was primarily what she loved. And I think second to that was her eyes. She loved her eyes. She loved the color of her eyes. She loved bragging about her eyes.
Yeah, she loved bragging about.
Yeah.
You said
that was the only feature people ever really commented on was like, wow, your eyes are piercing blue. And she'd be like, they're ice blue.
I thought you said ice blue in your eulogy too.
Yeah.
But I thought she was adamant about calling them crystal blue.
Oh, I thought it was ice blue. Maybe I called them ice blue. Crystal blue?
She was I'm almost certain she was like
crystal?
They're crystal blue.
Oh. Maybe that's because she's like obsessed with My Little Pony and there was like the crystal heart and crystal this and crystal that.
I could be wrong too though.
Yeah. I don't know. But what else? Oh, I wrote down when we were viewing the eulogy, I wrote down sports.
It's so funny. Like we have Waylon.
Yeah.
Bella's brother.
Yeah.
And he's 6 now.
Yeah.
And he likes hockey. He likes soccer. He likes running around.
Loves drawing.
He
loves coloring.
He's so funny because he's involved in the sports. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, take it. Bella, it's competition time.
Yeah, she's so funny.
I will learn the sport and I will learn it well. And you better be scared.
But we'd be in the backyard and like I would play baseball with her or football. And when she would pick up a bat,
she'd hit it every time.
You could just tell, like, you can tell kids like, oh, that kid's kind of got it. They understand athletic. They understand how to, shift their weight, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And then you'd see her grab the bat and she would instantly get it. She knew how to kind of turn her hips and, put her weight into the ball and had good eye contact. She was always catching the ball. Yeah.
Golfing.
It's so funny. Golfing. Yeah. Same thing.
Golfing. Same thing. Baseball, basketball.
She had a will. It's so funny that she's a sports kid, but I loved it. And we would sit every evening, not every evening, but and she would watch hockey with me.
Yeah. Oh, she was into watching hockey, football.
Because she was a Flames fan.
Baseball, but
Calgary
primarily.
Flames fan because we spent so much time in Calgary.
Yeah.
And that's great. I sure, go Flames, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Flames.
I'll be a Flames fan for her.
Yeah.
And
are you still a Jets fan?
I'm always a Jets fan.
Always.
Anyways, but she would always wake up the next morning because she would have to go to bed. And first thing she would ask me, Dad, did the Flames win? And lots of times I didn't know. And so we'd get to watch SportsCenter together and she'd be waiting for the Flames highlights. I'm just like, what a funny kid.
One of the last videos I have of her, She's waiting for surgery. We were at Sick Kids Hospital and she's sitting there waiting for surgery. You were there, remember? And it was like that night was game 7 between the Oilers and were the Oilers by
Panthers.
like it was like
With this year?
it was like for the cup.
Yeah, Florida.
It was Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
They were in Edmonton.
Okay, it wouldn't have been game 7.
It was the one that was like they need to win.
Oh, they might have been eliminated or getting eliminated. Sure.
I can't remember. It was a big deal. Anyways, it was not the Flames. And I
No.
said, Bella, like, this is a big game tonight. Like, we really need the Oilers to win. I'm like, who are you going to cheer for? And she's like, go Flames.
That
was it. Go Flames. I don't care. They weren't even in the
I know
playoffs.
they're another Canadian team, but I don't care.
Yeah, it was funny.
We used to watch a lot of baseball games too.
Yeah.
It was always, I mean, baseball's kind of like comfort food. You don't necessarily need to pay attention, but having the audio in the background and just relaxing with me on the bed. I didn't know.
Sorry.
I mean, when she was in her coma before she passed, that was I guess it was the Sunday that she passed away, but the Saturday night, I think you were back at the Ronald McDonald House and I stayed with her.
Yeah.
I had war.
Didn't want to leave her side.
I couldn't leave her side.
No.
But that Father's Day preceding that, she gave me that
Blue Jays sweater. We were in Toronto for a lot of Father's Days. And it was always, she wanted to get you a jersey of some sort. And
it's a good gift.
Yeah.
So I wore it that night when I just wanted to spend time with her. Even like she was in a coma, but I couldn't leave her side.
No. Yeah.
And she, I don't know. She was there with me. I was there with her for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were playing Seattle, so it was on the West Coast. So it was super late game, and Jays blew it. They sucked that night. It was funny.
I think you and the nurse laughed about that too. She was like into watching it.
I'm like, no, and if I stayed there, I don't think the game ended till 1 a.m. But it was just, I'll never forget that.
Yeah. She was always a good gift giver.
Oh, she's
the best gift giver.
She was. She nailed every gift.
Every gift.
She gave me.
So good at it. Yeah. Yeah. It was the best gift giver.
So when you went out shopping with her, did you give her options and say, pick one of these, or what was it?
It was, let's check out this store. Do you see anything that you think Dad would like? And it was her. I remember specifically, I think it was the Father's Day before this Father's Day, she specifically picked out that Blue Jays jersey for you. I remember the one year we went into Indigo and she wanted to pick out a book for you because she knew you loved reading, because she would see you every night reading one of your books. You love reading novels. So I was like, okay, let's pick out a novel for Dad. And so she went first to like, you know how Indigo has like that first table in the front and it was like bestsellers or whatever.
Right.
And it was Father's Day. Like it was like June. So we were like thinking about getting a Father's Day gift. So then they had like a picks for Dad table beside this bestseller table. So she's looking between those two tables and then she picked out that book for you. The one, I think it's got a ship on it in the ocean.
Oh, that book kicked ass.
Yeah. Yeah. She picked that out. I don't like this one. Sure.
Yeah.
And the mug.
I would have never picked out that book. Oh, and the mug.
Yeah.
Yeah. That book, I said, I'm like, I would have never went to the bookstore and bought this. I'm like, I think I read it in like a week.
Yeah.
I'm not that fast of a reader.
And she picked that up.
I was going to say 2 days. I'm like, there's no book that I read in 2 days.
Yeah. 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 And a little craft she made for you.
But she liked doing that with me too.
Yeah.
With
for me.
Like our, we had quite not ritual every Christmas.
Oh yeah. You're shopping for me every Christmas. She loved that.
We'd go up downtown and hit every
Surprise
single
shop.
store
in
Swift Current. It's a tiny town, 20,000 people. So our downtown isn't big.
Yeah.
And there might be 5, 6, 7 really fun shops that moms love. And she made sure to pop into every one around Christmas time. And she'd always it was always so much fun because whenever you went anywhere with Bella, in Calgary, Swift Current, or any city, you'd get like, it would almost like a party would kind of start.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, hey, Bella. And everyone would kind of just like start vibing and chatting and be like, okay, we kind of gotta go. But she would always love, because we'd always overspend on finding the gifts for you.
Aw.
And then we'd always cap off that day with going to the restaurant OJ's and
Oh, your OJ suppers.
No, it was lunchtime sort of around
Lunches.
or like a late.
It was OJ's. Original Joe's.
Yeah, and it was around
Yeah.
2, and we'd have such a fun
Yeah.
day together because
Yeah.
we'd always have that in our coffee dates.
Yeah. I remember there was lots of people would ask
Pardon
me if
me.
she ever got like
It's like snorting.
snorting and sniffling. People would always ask me like, did you ever get sick of people coming up to you and saying hi? And I was like, honestly, no. And Bella, like if she,
You did.
I did it, but there was even time I would be like, Bella, if you don't want to talk to anyone or whatever, like let me know and I will say she's not in the mood kind of thing. And that happened a couple times and I was always like on guard for her, but like 9 times out of 10, she's like, no, Mom, I want to say hi. Like, let them say hi. And I want to talk to them. And she really enjoyed that. And sometimes when she was in a really like spunky mood, she'd be like, do you want my autograph? It was like almost like it was too much. But
she'd get a little.
yeah, she get
too
a
much.
little head was a little big there. But
But she would know the vibe of the people that were asking
she
to
would,
like.
yeah. And
get them going.
I was gonna say there's so many times like you noticed and my friends would notice sometimes when we're out in public, like we miss like 50% of the people that actually want to come up to us because they're too shy.
Well, because anyone
Or they don't want to bug us.
They don't want to bug you, but they don't know that I might
Notice.
I might be walking behind you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm nobody. So I'll see them like point at you. Obviously, if they're pointing at you, they're going to be doing when you're not looking.
Like our first year on TikTok.
But
Does Bella have a dad? Just not there. In the videos, I mean. Lyle's always been here.
It was also nice though when people would come up and they say, well, can I get a photo with Bella? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
ask Bella.
Oh, I will
and then
never.
I trusted Bella though, because I'd be like, I don't know, ask Bella. She's 10.
Yeah, up to her.
Well, it should be a little bit up to the parent too. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. If
like
Bella's
some
okay with it.
6-year-old like creepy guy is like, I know.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
obviously
right.
not, but that
I
didn't happen.
Well, no, maybe. I don't know.
If you count Ryan Reynolds, but he's not 60. And
Still
he's not creepy.
But
That's a whole other
what
pod.
I'm saying is, thanks for checking, but ask Bella if she wants to, because and sometimes she'd be like, no, I'm not into it.
Oh yeah, and they'd be like, that's okay.
That a girl.
Yeah,
I like it.
It was always up to her, and I have so many fun stories too of situations like that. Like the 2 memories that jump out in my mind is a time when there was like a hockey group of like 10 like 12-year-old boys in Old Navy, and then the time that Oh, I will, but then don't let me forget to talk about the police officers that called other police officers to come to the street that she was on.
Well, didn't you just tell the whole story?
No, there's more to the story. Okay, first, the hockey players. Okay, so you know how like when the boys have hockey or hockey teams have hockey or whatever, and they're dressed in their suits and they have like time between games.
Right.
So this group of like, I'm pretty sure they were 12-year-old boys. Like Bella was 8. I think she was 8. And we were just walking around the mall in Calgary and we were in Old Navy. And she's picking out an outfit she liked. And I noticed these 3 little guys like elbowing each other. Yes, Bella, that's Bella. And they were so freaking sweet and kind and polite. And they came up to me first and they're like, do you mind if we say hi to Bella?
Oh, perfect.
And I was like, of course you can. Like, go ahead. She's just over there picking out clothes. And they go over there. So freaking cute and sweet and kind. And I could tell Bella was a little like,
she'd love it.
Just blushing a little bit. And so,
she's like, I can't believe this.
yeah. And so then the boys came up. They're like, hi, Bella. And they're like, can we get a picture with you? And then it was like 10 of them just came out of the woodworks and they made this like line behind her. It was like the whole team.
They're like covert, like messaging each other in
like,
corners of the
in different like
Old
spaces
Navy.
of Old Navy. And then they're like, okay, it's a go. And then they like all like came in.
Okay,
like,
it's a go.
It was so funny. And then all of a sudden there's like 10 like 12-year-old boys getting a picture
just
with
getting
Bella.
Snapchats.
Oh, it was so cute. They were so sweet and
They
polite.
got a lot of social cred out of that.
Yeah, they did. And then
funny.
The funniest though was like we were at Sick Kids. I think it was the first year we were there too. And we always would walk around the perimeter of Sick Kids and feed the pigeons. And so we were walking down the street. I think it was Elm Street we were on. Anyways, we were walking to our normal corner.
Nightmare on Elm.
No. No.
Elm Street? No.
Popo on Elm. It was the Popo on Elm. Anyways, okay. So we're walking down the street And Bella was like, Mom, there's a cop car. And they were pulled over because there's always security, but there's a police officer. And he was in his SUV. And he sees us walking towards the vehicle, and we were just going to go back inside. And then he saw me pointing at the police officer, and he saw that Bella was excited to see a police officer in a car just so close up. I was like, yeah, it's a police officer. Look at that. Maybe he'll turn his lights on or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then he rolled down his window and he's like, are you Bella? Are you Bella Brave?
How old was this police officer?
Oh, probably like in his 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 30s or 40s. And he's like, are you Bella Brave? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. This is Bella Brave. And I'm like, you're on active duty right now. Is this okay? And so he gets out of his car and Bella's like, can you turn the lights on for me? And he's like, hold on a minute. He's like, I need to radio so-and-so. She's in the area. And he radios two of his other like co-workers. I don't know what you call them, like partners or whatever in crime.
Yeah, probably.
They two. So
did you say partners in crime?
I said partners in crime.
Partners against crime.
Yes. Anyways, he radios two other officers that pull up in their car, one in her car, and then another one he like kind of drove by in his truck. And anyways, they're all on the street by sick kids, pulled over, talking to Bella, and she's just loving it. Like, oh, let me see this and this and this. And he's like, yeah, come on in the car. Like, he's letting her check out the SUV, like the SUV. So he lets us in the front seat and he's showing us all of his gadgets, everything. And this is the first time I've ever been in like I don't know.
Front seat of a cop car.
Yeah, the front seat of a car. Okay, I've been in the back seat of a cop car once in my life, and that was they were just waiting to check my stuff, and then I got to drive home. Anyways, so we're in the front seat, and I turn and I look in the back, like where the cage is, and like mounted on the cage is this like, I don't know what it is, AK-47. It's like a meter long gun.
Yeah.
Like a shotgun. I don't know. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. And then they like let her like play on the, anyways, it was hilarious because it was like three police officers like fangirling over Bella, like radioing other ones to come.
How many showed up in that?
3.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 3.
3 different cop cars.
And they wanted a picture. They were like, can I get a picture with you? Like my son is going to be like so like happy. And
oh, it's so endearing.
So cute and sweet. It was just like unexpected. Like,
yeah.
It's like, don't you have policing to do? No, Bella. Pause that. That was her.
They have social sort of obligations to do in the community, right?
Yeah. Oh, if anyone called her a celebrity, it was like game over. Like her head could not fit on the door.
That was, we would talk her down.
Yeah, we had to.
Like, okay, kids, settle down. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Celebrity.
She liked to take that and run with it. Yeah. I
was thinking the one time, like just with the way we spend our evenings around here, I guess it's a little off topic, but I mean, it's a little outside of, her celebrity status. It was some of those times where with memories with her, like in our evenings, she always treasured our evenings so much and how they had to be peaceful, watching, hockey and just being, calm. Because there's so many evenings where it was not that. So when we had peace, she loved it. And it's random memories you have. But the one, I guess it was consistent when she had to have her bedroom door open and it's just down the route. Oh, down from the living room.
This is so good. Yeah.
I don't know if
when it's like, oh, we're going to go outside and then we're going to go downstairs and we're going to stay outside.
Oh, yeah. No, you say that.
Okay, I'll say that.
When you say goodnight and then what would she say?
She'd be like, don't go outside. Don't go downstairs. Don't go outside. Like,
all right, I'll see you outside downstairs.
Yeah. It was so funny because she was like, I need to know mom and dad are in the house to fall asleep. And it really bothered her if we went downstairs to watch a movie because there was times in the past.
I don't blame her. She had pumps running.
She had IV pumps running. And there was times where it was like if her pump started beeping and we couldn't hear it, it'd wake her up and she'd cry. And so we needed to be upstairs and close and quiet.
No, I was thinking it was always...
We would joke about being, we're going to go outside. We're going to stay outside. Then we're going to go downstairs. Like,
because our living room wasn't too far from her bedroom, she would hear what we were listening to on TV. And she would always get so... If it was like an action movie or something. And so, of course, I think I've watched The Office maybe 5 times front to back.
Yeah.
And she, I don't know if she ever watched that, but she loved listening to The Office. And did she love Dwight?
Oh yeah, if she could fall asleep.
I don't know if she ever watched an episode, but she listened to it probably 3 times the whole season.
Yeah, and she'd
all
hear us
seasons.
laughing. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so she insisted on us watching The Office after she went to bed.
She
'Cause it
has
was like
Michael
comfort
Scott.
food. It was comfort food for us and her too.
And she has Michael Scott energy and Michael Scott humor, like 100%.
Is she Michael Scott? That's a good way to put it.
She's like a mix of Angela and Michael Scott.
Oh yeah, I could see some Angela in there too. She's so
like the
mean at
pranking
times.
and like the excitement about the pranks, like that's Michael.
That's Jim.
Oh, that's Jim.
Yeah.
She's a Jim.
I think she was a Jim.
She was a Jim. 100% a Jim.
You're Michael.
I'm Michael. I'm Michael. Who are you? Oh, you're the print. What's his name? You're the maker of the show.
Oh no, the temp.
The temp.
Ryan.
You're the temp.
Ryan. Yeah.
Locking in the closet. This is your office now.
Then who's Waylon?
Who's the guy that carries the chili and spills? Who's the big guy?
Kevin.
Kevin.
Waylon's Kevin. Waylon doesn't eat though. Maybe he's Andy.
Who's Dwight's? Who's Dwight's guy from the farm?
Oh, Mose.
Mose.
I don't know.
Waylon's Mose just riding by the truck.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, you're definitely Michael.
Yeah,
though.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bella's definitely Jim.
Yeah. Waylon could be Dwight because he always wanted to be Michael. And Waylon, I feel like, always wants to do what I'm doing, be what I'm doing.
That's true.
And, like, please me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Waylon is Dwight.
He's Dwight for sure.
So we don't have Pam.
No, we don't have Pam. I wanted to share with everyone, especially in the first episode, what I hope this podcast will become and who I hope to have on in the future. Like where I kind of see our podcast going.
Doesn't that put a lot of pressure on you?
No, I want to say balls to the wall, but I don't know if that's too graphic. I'm gonna.
It wasn't graphic until you said.
I don't want to be
Is
graphic.
that really graphic? Well, I guess in the literal sense, it's super graphic. But no one was thinking that.
What's the saying when you're like, I'm gung ho?
I love it because I'm not that.
Like, I'm not going to put it past me to reach out to Ryan Reynolds, all the celebrities we've met.
I'm not going to put it past you that you're going to do that.
Oh, yeah. Halsey. Haley Wickenheiser has already said yes. I'm going to have her on.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She already said yes. No problem.
Gold medalist.
Yeah.
Bunch of times.
And she met Bella, and we have, she's worked at Sick Kids. Like, we have so much to talk about.
She was cool. Like, she just wanted to hang.
Oh, she's amazing. She just check in. How are things going? Do you want to hang out? Bring me coffee. She bring us like food. She brought us like home baked goods.
I never met her. Just like everyone else on this list, I never met her.
Oh wait, where's my list?
I didn't meet anyone. You know.
Oh wait, let me get to people.
We're back home in Swift Current. Do you remember the time?
the Raptors game?
Yeah, the Raptors game.
Tell the Raptors game story. You guys have to hear this.
Well,
story.
you can tell your side of until I'll tell what my experience was.
Okay, so and then we'll go back to who I'm going to reach out to as podcast guests. So Bella and I had a friend in Toronto reach out and offer us tickets for a Raptors game, our first ever Raptors game in Toronto. We were pumped to go. Bella's feeling good. We were at the Ronald McDonald House. We could go. So she gave us tickets that were like relatively close to the floor, but not like floor tickets. And so we go a bit early, make sure we're there. And Bella's pumped. She has a little sign that says, "Go Raptors, go." And we're wearing Raptors gear. And we get there early. And the security guard comes up to us and sees this like little girl, like super excited to see the game. And it hadn't started yet. And she's like, just like, hey, like we were like, where's the bathroom? How do we get to our seats? That sort of thing. So she did all that for us. And we're sitting there. And then about like 10 minutes into the game, she comes back to us at our seats. And she's like, you know what? I got 2 floor seats that these people aren't coming tonight. Would you guys want to move to the floor? And I'm like, what? And that's when I'm like, is Drake here? Drake always sits at the floor. Is Drake here? And I'm pretty sure he was not there. There was a guy that looked really close to him, and I kept like peeling. I was like, no, it was not Drake. It's not Drake. Anyways, I was really hoping he was there, but he wasn't. Anyways, we go down to the floor, and she gets a chance to like, maybe this was before the game started.
Yeah, you guys were like playing in the pregame.
Yeah. I forget how she
or when she got us down there, but we got floor seats from the nice security
Before the
guard
game
lady.
even started,
Before
you got down to the floor seats,
and
then you got to participate in the warm-ups, didn't you?
She was throwing balls with the guys in warm-ups.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was amazing. She was so pumped. And then it was like, I love the TikTok video I made about it, the reel I made about it, because it was exactly how that night went. Just full on like hype, fan, having fun. We were like, yeah, like just a party, right?
Yeah.
On the floor. We were just so jacked to be there and be so close to the game. And then, so she's dancing
and
with
you had cameras on you.
Cameras were all around, right?
Or like the guys that carry the camera around at the, not like, they carry the floor guys, they'll put a camera in your face and have fun on dancing.
Because then there's is it the North Side crew? The dancing, like the cheerleaders.
The cheerleaders.
They were loving Bella. Bella was like there for them. She was like, yes. And we were talking to them before and after, and she was dancing with them in like intermission. And then
that was your experience.
That was my, so then Bella's holding up her like, go Raptors, go. And we're like cheering. Yeah. And then we see this camera come right up close and do like a close up with us. And I had no idea what camera this was for, who it was for. Turns out it was TSN. Then cut to Lyle's experience of the game.
Oh yeah. So Waylon and I were back home in Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
In like December,
by the way,
wasn't it?
We're from Saskatchewan, Canada, in case anybody was wondering.
Anyways, so we were
you and Waylon were back home.
It was like -30 outside and the wind was howling. I just got Waylon in bed.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how the girls are doing. And let's see how this game was that they are at. Because I saw your tickets. It was okay seats. I'm like, I won't see them, but let's see what game they're watching. And it might have been 5 seconds after I turned it on. All I see is you and Bella dancing literally with the camera in your face. I was like, what the hell is that?
It was TSN.
I was so happy for you guys. I'm like, look at me. I'm slumping my.
It was so funny.
You guys had a lot of fun. Like
we had the best.
Hospital was not that. It's kind of a good example of.
She got to experience so much.
Yeah. Hospital life. You guys made the most of hospital life.
We made the most of hospital life.
When you were there.
Yeah.
And with it, the hospitals offer amazing things for the kids.
Yeah.
You take part in this activity and that activity, and you took part in every single activity.
Yeah.
So I made it well.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely did not take those good days for granted when she could actually leave the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back to future podcast guests that I really hope to have on the show at some point, and topics that we want to touch on, like so many stories, but I want to reach out to celebrities that we've met and also inspiration for me, like other podcasts that I've listened, like I started listening to. So for example, of course, Haley Wickenheiser, Sarah Marshall is a friend of mine who is in the transplant community.
Oh, cool.
So I want to have lots of people from the transplant community come on here and share their experiences and share their, anything that will help transplant community, because Bella's
like the moms or the medical teams.
Both.
Yeah.
Parents, medical teams, people have had transplants. Like I would love to have like Bella's transplant doctor, like Dr. Ravitz on here.
Ooh.
Or her BMT doctors, like Dr. Wright, her immunologist in Calgary.
Yeah.
100%. And then I want to jump right to the big guns like Halsey and Ryan Reynolds. We need to talk about the times that Bella got to meet them.
Yeah.
Why she got to meet them, and her relationship with them, because it was more than just like a celebrity contact. It was like friendship, real friendship.
There was no superficial.
None.
I can't think of.
No.
There's nothing superficial about those.
No.
It was not to be like, put yourself out there to this kid.
No.
That was not the case.
No.
Yeah.
And then of course, like Kat and Dave Foster.
Yeah.
For the David Foster Foundation that supports transplant families, but also having met them twice. I also would love to reach out to Renee from the Mom Room podcast. Mm-hmm. The way she runs her podcast and the way she chat, she's so funny and she's so smart. And I love her podcast. Alicia McCarville, girl, I need to have you on my podcast. Like she's so flippin' funny. Also, these ladies are Canadian. And I met Alicia when I was in Toronto.
Right.
And Sarah from the Birds Papaya. First podcast I ever started listening to. What else do we got on here? Yeah, Bella's doctors, nurses, teachers, my friends, your friends, like
our friends.
Oh, we got to have some friend chats, like some like, like
that's great.
Like Kim and I on here talking about our skincare or something like that. I don't know.
Wow, sounds
medical mom friends. Also,
I love how ambitious you are. This is great.
Also, we've never actually got to talk to Bella's bone marrow donor, Inga.
Right.
She lives in Germany. She's a nurse with 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
We've only messaged on Facebook Messenger.
That's cool.
That would be amazing to have her on a Zoom call. And her experience with being a donor, a bone marrow donor.
Mm-hmm.
Bella is her recipient, of course. And then, of course, I have a relationship with Bella's bowel donor mom. Mm-hmm. And her 4-year-old son was the boy, Bella's bowel donor. And so I talk with her, Maddie, and just to talk to her for the first time. We've only ever messaged each other and sent photos. We've never actually spoke to each other like on the phone or on a FaceTime.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you've drawn me in.
Yeah. Like we got to have those conversations. Like, I mean, Bella, you're here right now. Bella's bone marrow transplant was in 2015. Right. Like, yeah. So that's where I want to go with this. I want to go far and beyond. Brave.
Oh, beyond brave.
That was totally like, just like, I just did.
What is that? I'll put you on the spot. Why beyond brave?
I thought of that. That was,
you thought of it.
My brain. I was thinking of.
I asked you, I'm like, what are you going to do your podcast? And you threw out this home run. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
All right. No more conversation.
Yeah. It was, I was, thinking and thinking and thinking. And I'm like, I was stuck on this one hard. I was like, I just can't think of anything more like what I want it to be beyond brave. I don't want it to just be only brave stories and only medical stories. I want it to be beyond that. I want it to be how Bella's inspired others and how, and their story in relation to her, but also their story on their own. Mm-hmm. And just the unique experiences we've had that is just that I know that nobody else has ever had. Right. And then on top of that, being a medical family and knowing lots of other medical families, you feel so closed in those hospital walls and no one ever really goes beyond that or talks beyond that. And I feel like with the platforms I want to make use of them in a positive way and going beyond just being brave and helping others that have not only been a part of our story, but we've inspired theirs. Cool. And I just think like that it beyond brave allows us to keep that deep connection to Bella's legacy for her legacy project, right? And do this for her, mm-hmm. Make this for her, intentionally grieve and support others at the same time, share stories that are helpful, inspiring, mm-hmm. joyful.
I love that. Intentionally grieve.
Yeah.
Like you said. And yeah, it's hard, but it's necessary. It feels not necessarily good, but right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, it's also, it's just that we have time to talk. Like, what else do we make time to intentionally grieve like this? We're on our phones, we're playing our games, or we're watching movies, and that's good, like relaxing time. It's time like for ourselves, but to sit down and talk and share with our community, we're not just helping ourselves, we're helping other people too. And I think like that's always been my drive for anything I share online, is helping others. It's like, why do it if you're not helping someone, even yourself, if it's just you or if it's someone else, and sharing helps get that out there, do it.
Good.
It's needed. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a wrap on our very first episode.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
What do you think?
We talked a lot about sharing, and I think if anyone wants to share, their grieving with us and
their feedback.
Yeah. Their feedback and slip into our DMs.
Suggestions. Slip into our DMs. Very Gen Z of you. But honestly, thank you all for listening. We are just so excited that you've stayed with us until the very end here. And what else should we tell them?
Have a great day.
Stay brave. Where